Okay, what if you could solve your biggest, most annoying operational headache? Not with some massive budget or a super complex project, but with just a single piece of paper. Seriously. Today we're going to break down how one team did exactly that. Let's get into it.
Right there. That's the number. 40%. A manufacturing team was just getting crippled by equipment downtime, and they used one simple framework to slash it. For any operation, a number like that isn't just a small improvement, it's a total game changer. And that quote, that's straight from the team lead. Just think about that for a second. No endless meetings, no back and forth fights over the budget. They figured out and solved a really complex, expensive problem with one document. So, what is this magic piece of paper?
Well, it's called an A3 report. And while it might just be the most powerful problem-solving tool you've never heard of, its real genius is in how simple it is. So let's unpack how it actually works.
The A3 report comes from the legendary Toyota production system, the absolute gold standard for operational excellence. It's basically a method designed to walk a team through a logical problem-solving journey, and the whole thing fits on a single 11 by 17-inch page.
The best way to think about an A3 is that it tells a story, and you read it from left to right. So the left side, that's all about the investigation, figuring out the background, what's really happening right now, and the true root cause. Then the right side is all about action, designing a fix, actually doing it, and making sure it sticks. It's the entire narrative of an improvement on one page. So let's start where any good investigation does, with the problem itself. This is the part where the team really has to put on their detective hats and figure out what is actually going on. So the team started by defining their current situation with cold, hard data. They weren't just, down a lot. They were at a staggering 20% downtime. That's more than double the industry average. That huge gap you see on the screen, well, that's the problem they had to solve. And this right here is a core rule of the A3 process. It forces you to get past gut feelings and office politics. You have to quantify the problem, because if you can't measure it, you really can't manage it. Just knowing what is wrong is only the first step. The real magic of the A3 is that it makes you dig and dig and dig until you find out why. And this is where the root cause analysis kicks in. The team used a simple but brilliant technique called the 5 whys. By just asking why over and over again, they pushed past all the surface-level symptoms like, oh, the machine failed, and eventually they uncovered the real root cause. There was a total lack of standardized maintenance procedures across the different shifts. So once they knew the problem and its true cause, they could finally set a clear target. And notice, this isn't just some vague wish, it's a SMART goal. It's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. The mission was crystal clear: get downtime from 20% down to 12% in 1 quarter. Okay, so the investigation part is done. Now we get to move over to the right side of the A3. This is where all that careful planning gets turned into concrete action and hopefully some real-world results. The solutions they came up with weren't just random guesses. They were like surgical strikes aimed directly at that root cause. They developed standardized checklists, they made pre-shift checks mandatory, and they trained every single technician. Each action was specifically designed to get rid of that lack of standardization. And this part is just absolutely vital. An idea without a plan is really just a wish, right? The A3 forces you to create an implementation plan with clear owners and clear deadlines. There's no gray area. Everybody knew exactly who was doing what and by when. That is how you build real accountability. So, the big question: did it actually work? This is the check phase, the moment of truth. And the result? Well, the team didn't just meet their goal. They completely crushed it. They hit that 12% target a full month ahead of schedule. I mean, just look at that. This one visual tells the whole story. They took their downtime from that painful 20% all the way down to 12%, completely closing that massive performance gap we saw at the beginning. That right there is the power of a focused, systematic approach. But look, this isn't just about one team's success story. The real question is how you can apply this powerful way of thinking to the challenges that you're facing right now. Because at the end of the day, the A3's biggest value isn't the paper it's printed on. It's a framework that fundamentally changes how your teams think. It builds this culture of clear communication, of shared accountability, and of just relentless, continuous improvement. And finally, we have the act phase. This is the crucial step that makes sure the problem never comes back. The team didn't just celebrate and move on. No, they standardized their new process. They updated the official documents, they built it into their audits, and they shared what they learned across the whole organization.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. Think about those stubborn, recurring frustrations you have in your own work. What seemingly impossible problem could you finally solve by tackling it with the focused clarity of a single page?